Welcome to the Talking SlotHeads podcast with your hosts Rob DeLeon and Ted Anderson.
Welcome everybody to the next episode of the Talking SlotHeads podcast with your host Rob DeLeon and
Ted Anderson, future SCD Raceway, but right now we're still Slot Car Daddy. How's everybody doing, man? Good to see you, Rob, in this format again. We're going to do some content.
Good to see you, Ted. People may not know, but we've been in contact almost every week for the last, almost a year now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, I have been doing videos for quite some time now. I don't know how many months. Maybe you have a better idea, but I forgot when I stopped doing videos.
Yeah, I think it's for you. I think it's been probably a year, and you had some issues that happened. You had a robbery of your mom's house, and a bunch of stuff went on. I think you touched on that in one of the other podcasts, but it's probably been a year for you, but it's been about 6 months for me. And but let's hear what's going on with Mr.
That's what I
DeLeon.
can go into about. You know what? I'll go into that just for a moment. I had the typical California experience under Prop 47, and that is where crime is basically legal to commit here, practically in California. I had two house robberies.
Crazy.
Not of my house, but my late mother's house as I was, getting ready to clear it out. I also had a vehicle theft that turned into a complete totaling of that vehicle during a high-speed chase. So I've had quite a number of bad things happen over the last year. I spent about 6 months clearing out my mom's house and I stopped making videos then. I just didn't have time. And I think I'd gone over this in previous podcasts. And then we decided to move back in July, and I am still in the process of moving everything. As you can see here, I'm in a new location. I'm now in a 19-foot by 16-foot garage out in the middle of the mountains near Yosemite. We did this move back in July to be closer to my wife's parents. And so we're still not completely there yet. I do not have my slot car track here. It normally will end up going over here, but right now there is a large shelving unit that I have to break down in order to get the slot car track in there. And as you can see here, I've got a number of different hobby things I've been doing. I've got all my RC trucks and my crawlers over here, monster trucks and so forth. And then in this display case, I've got my Hot Wheels. Well, I've got some Hot Wheels. And then I've got my HO slot car drag cars and other cars in that one. And this white board here, that actually holds my Auto World drag strip that I'm still working on. I'm doing a little bit of 3D design and print and trying to do some border, kind of like these little border pieces that go alongside the track to keep the cars on the track.
Right.
But other than that, this is what I've been doing. Haven't had a chance to really do much. My slot cars are sitting over here. I have no way to run them, no track to run them on. So until I get the track over here, you're not going to see a whole lot of content from me. But speaking of that real quickly, I might change the name of my YouTube account as well. Because normally I was doing most of slot car stuff, but now I'm doing so many different things. I've got a sim racer over here sitting in the corner, and I'll maybe show you that some other time. I'm going to talk about changing it to maybe the DeLeon Hobby Garage or something like that. So that's basically in a nutshell what I've been up to. Still have so much more work to do. I don't know when I'm going to be finished with the move, probably maybe closer to the end of the year. And that's about it for me. What do you have to say, Ted?
I'm going to be changing my channel name also, and it's going to become the SCD Raceway. That will be the searchable term for my channel. I've alluded to that in the last couple of videos. I put it in my description, but the reason I'm doing that is there's confusion right now with a guy out of Australia. Really, really good guy, puts out some great content, and but his search term and mine are so closely related that they show up together, top and bottom in your search view, and his videos show up under my channel. My videos show up under his channel. And he's got a great channel, but we're just too closely related in search terms. So it's going to be SCD Raceway going forward, AKA Slot Car Daddy. I can't let that title go. I kind of like it. My kids like it. My grandkids like it. So the last 6 months, I haven't put out any content either. I did get a video out last weekend that's still out there, which is 2 days before the election. It's the Trump-Harris slot car race. And I'm not sure if people cared for the way it ended, but it ended without the final lap attached to it, and for good reason. I'm trying to be impartial here with this political scenery that's going on here in United States. So the final lap I will post Tuesday night, or as soon as the election is called. The final lap will be the winner of this recent content I put out. But that's just recently what I'm just getting the itch to get back into this slot car creation, because I took 6 months off. I've been doing a lot of viewing and consumption of YouTube, Slot Car World. I haven't put out any content. And the reason that is YouTube will make a slave out of you. Well, not everybody, but it was making a slave out of me, because in order to get a video out every week, I was putting a lot of time into editing and all that. So, hey, what are you drinking there, Rob? Hello.
And Modelo Chelada here.
Michelada, right on. And that's good. I'm drinking the Banquet.
We used to
Coors
call that
Banquet.
we used to call that river water when we go down to the river.
Yeah. Speaking of rivers, so I did a lot of fishing this summer up on the Upper Sacramento River, many rivers here in California, the American River, the Kings River. I do a lot of trout fishing, and it was just time for me to take a break from content creation. I was just getting so overwhelmed with it. I'm still working full time, and I'll probably will for the next couple of few years before I retire, God willing. And until then, I have to really put limits on how much I'm going to put out, because it takes a lot of time away from your personal life, family life, and that kind of things. And I decided, I got vices I already have that aren't the healthiest in the world, right? I smoke. I like to enjoy a beer here and there, sometimes a little too much, but I can manage that, because I can smoke with one hand, I can drink with the other. It's not a problem. But when you put YouTube in the mix and they're pushing you to get content out, because if you don't, your views will go down and all this stuff, and you get all worried, and then you got to get something out. If I had two more hands, I could do this, and I could do video filming and editing with my other two hands. But because I don't have enough hands to do everything, I had to take a break this summer. And I'm just trying to be kind of funny about it. But YouTube gets, if you're not careful, man, it's an addiction. And you got to be careful with it. Don't let it rule your life, because there's too many other things going on in life that are much, much, much more important. And such as this election. And back to the video I put out with these two guys over here. You got the Trump 47 and you got the McLaren GT3. Kamala Harris is running the GT3 McLaren, and Trump picked the 47. Well, we know why he picked the 47, because he hopes to be number 47. But anyway, yeah, it was a long summer off. It was a great time. A lot of family events, birthday parties. I have 8 grandchildren now, so, and most of them are spring and summer babies. So we get spring and summer get so busy, just don't have time to really do anything else. YouTube had to go by the wayside for a while, but I have kept up with content. I do watch a lot of content. There's a lot of great content going on right now, and I really try my best to subscribe to channels I've seen, and also comment on channels and content that I view. And you got your regulars you're in touch with all the time through YouTube comments, and it's a lot of fun, man. But who's gonna win? Who's gonna win the final lap, which will come out
Who's going to win? Who's going to win your race, and then who's going to win the election? So we've got two things to be looking forward to pretty soon.
Yeah, and that's why I cut the race. It was a 25 lap race. I cut it to 24 laps, because although I did run the 25th lap, I just couldn't show you the 25th lap, because it wouldn't be fair, and I didn't want to be wrong too. So
Mhm.
if it goes that way, I'll be able to complete this video by just showing the whole 25 lap race and it'll be over with. But just in case it doesn't go the way this race ended, I have to film another ending to this, which my grandson came over today. And when we finish this podcast, by the way, this is our third attempt at this podcast, and I'll let Rob explain that one to you. But anyway, he's going to help me finish this final lap, which I will put out just as soon as all this political craziness in this country is over with.
Yeah, it's been months. Well, the last saved podcast I have was showing February of this last year here. So,
Right. No,
I
you're
mean,
right.
I literally forgot how to do this stuff, you know? And I haven't been keeping up with a whole lot of YouTube stuff. And you're right, it will take over your life if you're chasing that algorithm. Um,
Yeah.
Luckily and not luckily, so for me, that life got in the way, and I was no longer able to make videos. I haven't seen Joe at my track in months. We probably did more motorcycle riding than anything. And I'll tell you
Nice.
what, this area that I'm in here now, man, I have one motorcycle here and then the other one's over there back in Bakersfield. But man, getting on that thing and just taking a ride through those mountains, it's unbelievable how beautiful it is. And, no sitting in traffic anymore. It's just you're out there on the open road. And I look for any chance to ask the wife, do I get to go to the store and get anything? Because the local store is 10 minutes away. But it's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Awesome. So yeah, I have been away from YouTube for a while, and I just haven't had any chance to do videos. And I still kind of not really am there yet to do anything. But I thought, let's put out a podcast, and at least we can do this. I don't have anything other to show, unless you guys are into watching me rock crawl my RCs. But that's a whole nother thing. But
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You got Harry over there at All Scales Slot Car channel.
mhm.
He's got a
Yeah,
rock crawling course and he
he's
does.
an
He's
RC,
pretty
and
cool.
RC was probably, I wouldn't say it's my first love, because I was into slot cars when I was a young kid. We all had the I didn't have the TCR. I had the command control, I believe they call it. It was a slotless Tyco Raceway. So that's
Right.
what I had. And cleaning up a lot of my parents' house, I came across a lot of my old slot cars that were almost in disrepair condition. You couldn't do anything with them. And I found a lot of my track, found a lot of my Sizzler stuff, and so I've got
Oh man, I remember those.
Sizzler, got my Sizzler's tracks, and I found a lot of my old Redline Hot Wheels, and I'll show you guys a little bit of that, in this video maybe. But other than that, I just haven't had time to do much of anything. And so I've been living out of two different houses. We haven't gotten the other one ready for sale yet, but eventually we will. And at this point now, I'm just kind of I'm living off of a couch at the other house. I'm still working my regular job, and then come up here on the weekends, and we unload all the stuff that we've got. And it's surprising that, and I have lost a couple of things. There's some things I can't figure out what I did with them. Maybe they're packed in a box of something else that they're not supposed to be with. But it's surprising that I've got most of the stuff I've found, and it's all in one piece, and I was able to get it up here. So anyway, this garage I'm in, I don't know if I mentioned this, is a 16 by 19-foot garage. It's a detached garage. And it's kind of in the woods. If I were to walk out here right now, it's just basically woods with all kinds of animals walking around and stuff. Probably not the most conducive area to do slot car racing, but it's an excellent place to do RC if you're an RC crawler or RC
Oh
track.
hell yeah, that you got some land there to do that on.
And I probably spent 2 hours yesterday on the lawnmower just mowing and just going, oh my God, this place is expansive. And so that's kind of what I've been up to. Um, and eventually I'll get the track up here, and I'll knock down this big shelving unit that's here, and I'll get it in here, and we'll start to reset the slot car racing that we were doing. I don't know who I'm going to find to race with, because now I'm going to be, close to 5 hours away from Joe. And he was he was okay about driving an hour and a half to get to me. Now forget it. I don't think he's going to be up here very often.
Yeah, well, we'll have to set up a time with Buddy Joe Bob to come down, and I can meet you guys up there. He's a pretty fun guy to be around. So, that
Yeah,
that trip to LA was pretty nice, down to Electric Dreams. So I look forward to seeing him again too.
yeah, and we might I might do one last race at the other house. There's not going to be anything there but the track, but we might do one last race before I bring it up here. But other than that, that's what I've been up to. I know that there was speculation I was transitioning to what? I don't know. But basically
Yeah,
that's
you are in California.
yeah, that's what I'm still in California, or I won't even say what normally we call California up here because it's got some crazy rules in this state. But
We can't go into that. We can't go into that.
no, yeah, we're not going to go into that. That's a whole nother podcast. Yeah, still enjoying the hobbies. I just wish I had more time to do them right now.
Yeah, well, it's coming, Rob. You've been busy for a year. I know because I talked to you, and you're doing most of this move by yourself. So, I mean, without any professional help, you're just kind of just moving as you go, and it takes time. And hopefully by Christmas, maybe we'll get an early Christmas present with a De Leon comeback special. That'd be nice, but we'll see how things go.
Yeah, and hopefully this year maybe we'll have a light dust in the snow.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of
yeah,
cool to take an RC out there in the snow and see what it'll do.
yeah.
But so far, it's cold outside right now, but it's not too bad in here. Um, I don't have any heating or cooling in here, so just basically either open that door up if you want to get cooled. Have a little tiny space heater. So we don't know exactly what kind of conditions we're going to be dealing with when the winter really hits. But
Yeah, we get because sometimes even though you're just below the snow line, you can get hit pretty heavy. Depends on if it's going to be a wet year or not. Hey,
yeah,
real quickly, not to go into politics, which I like to be impartial and stay away from around people I don't know, especially in the YouTube verse. I received these in the mail. Okay, tell me how crazy this is and weird this is. These are my ballots to vote. I didn't ask for them. I didn't request them, and yet they show up at my house every flipping 4 years. And I like to go in person and vote. My vote is private. That's the way my dad raised me. You don't need to discuss politics with anybody, maybe your wife. Hopefully you guys are together on how you vote. But regardless, if these ballots didn't make it to my house for whatever reason, anybody can take that ballot and vote with my information on it, and it would be counted. And then I would go vote at the precinct or down at the my polling station, and then I would vote. And they're either canceling each other out or we're doubling up one or the other. So it just makes no sense. We're the most beautiful state probably in the union as far as activities and weather, but
but literally
we're
the
stupid.
dumbest state when it comes to rules and regulations. And also, now that you don't
Yeah,
have to show your ID. In fact, I think it's illegal to have to even ask for your ID. So, I
yeah,
mean, you can vote for me and I
yeah,
can vote for you, and they won't know the difference.
yeah. It's crazy, man. But you know what? We'll get through it, man. This final lap shows up. I'm going back to that because maybe a lot of people haven't seen that video, but it's got two days left. It's November 3rd, and I got some pretty good views out of it, some nice comments out of my video, and nothing negative, and I hope it stays that way. But hey, you're up in the mountains now. You're the slot car guy with a lot of technical knowledge that I don't have because I'm like a hack, I throw my slot cars out there. I'm just like when I was 8 years old, man. I run them, I burn the tires off of them, I crash into the walls. I don't know how to tune them. Of course, I run scale electric, so there's not a whole lot of tuning, but you're the technical guy. You could probably teach me a lot, but there's something I might be able to help you out with too. Whenever I get up there, once you're fully moved in, and that's doing a little trout fishing with Slot Car Daddy. I can show you some places up on that Merced River where it comes out of Yosemite, which is what, 20 minutes from your house, that south entrance, if that, 25 minutes away.
Yeah, and then we've got
The
a couple
river.
of lakes up here too that are probably filled with fish. But
Oh yeah.
I'd love to go. I'd love to go trout fishing. I haven't been fishing in a long time.
Oh yeah, we can sit on the lake, sit on the bank with a six pack, kick back, catch some fish, go slot car racing after that, or go slot car racing first and then fishing. But
That sounds like an excellent day.
that'd be fun, man. That'd be a good time.
And I'm just glad to get back into this and doing a podcast here and there and a little bit more regular so that I can stay in it because I know that you've stayed in the community. You're still probably engaging in the live podcasts and the live shows and the watching videos. I haven't had much of a time. I've kind of fallen off the map for a little bit here. Occasionally, I can catch maybe a live video if I'm on the road and I'm driving or something like that. But other than that, if I'm not at work, I'm loading the trailer up and getting things moved and packing things up, and then when I get up here, I'm working on this room. The previous owner used to use this as an exercise garage. He had like a dry sauna here in the corner that I moved to the other garage at the house. And I said, well, I'm going to take this over as my hobby room because there's no car access. Even though there's a garage door here, you can't get a car in here. There's a big hill in front of this full of rocks and stuff. And so it's basically, I think, utility garage, but it works perfect for what I need it for. And I can also turn up my sim racer here that I've got sitting over here, all the way up, and it's not bothering anybody. I've been able to race like 1 o'clock in the morning here, and you really can't hear it outside, and it doesn't wake up the family because it's not attached to the house. So it's kind of best of both worlds, you know?
Yeah. Well, your area there that your slot car retreat, just from what I'm seeing, is it's really looking good, man. Because I remember we were FaceTiming at one point months ago, and that garage was packed with stuff, boxes and everything else. And it looks like you made some headway there. I like what I see on that back wall, and you're not too far away, Rob. You're not too far away, man. Hang in there on that because I know it's been a long, long haul for you.
I've got back here, you probably can't see it, but I've got my signed John Force promo card and then his daughter, her card over here. And I've got a couple of old Hot Wheel drag sets right there.
I thought you were pointing to that Goodyear blimp. Hang on 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
You got a good Goodyear blimp?
It looks bigger than the one I've got.
I don't think it is. I think it's just a camera, but yeah,
Oh,
it's an inflatable. But somehow I'm going to incorporate this into my layout. I got that tram now that runs across the top,
yeah.
and actually I built a little GoPro holder for it. So my GoPro, it's up there about 6 feet, and it does overhead views of my track.
That's really cool. That would be really cool to have, especially like on a drag strip if you can follow the cars as they're going down the road.
Well, this tramp it kind of goes one speed, and it's like pretty slow, but I mean it'll you can get a whole aerial view of the start finish line for sure.
That'd be really cool. I just hung that blimp up. There's a big hook in the wall the previous owner used to use, and he had a pull down bar with some weights in it, and so I just left it there and hung the blimp up from the same thing.
Anything else you want to talk about, Rob? I mean, we think we covered everything.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything. This was just a good way to get back in and because like we said, man, I forgot how to record stuff. We haven't done this in a long time. So
Take three.
yeah, we perfected this one. You want to talk about going off the deep end? It's our discussions. So yeah, we kind of kept it in tight on this one a little bit. So that's good. But yeah, so I think we'll go ahead and we'll call this one good, and we'll maybe convene in a couple of weeks, maybe see what news going on, and
Yeah.
go from there. This is the fourth episode of the Talking Slot Heads podcast. And this is the host. What was my name again? Rob DeLeon. And again, I might be changing my channel name. And I'm here with
Ted Anderson. We're going to say Slot Car Daddy for now because I haven't changed the name yet, but that's coming soon. SCD Raceway. It's been nice talking to you guys, you too, Rob. And hopefully the community stays strong and we keep moving forward, man. Put out that content.
All right, man. Sounds good. We'll be talking to you soon.
All right.
Thanks, guys, for watching.
Thanks, Rob. Bye.
Okay, we're out.